This is the brand new Trek Madone of Trek-Segafredo rider Mads Pedersen. And when I say brand new, it was literally launched just one day before the Tour de France started. Although these bikes have been seen in the wild since the Critérium du Dauphiné. And frankly, there was no hiding them because that is one seriously distinctive looking bike. So the Madone is Trek's aerodynamic road bike. And this new one is apparently a minute faster than the old one for every hour of riding at 45 kilometers an hour. Now, I know technically that doesn't make sense, but we get the idea. They've achieved it firstly by taking advantage of the UCI relaxing some of their rules about bike design. So you can see it's got a much fatter section here up at the front of the bike by the head tube and also down by the bottom bracket. And then also there is that very distinctive rear end. You can see there's quite a lot missing at the back end here. There is, frankly, a big hole where you would ordinarily find the tube. Now, Trek are calling this big hole Isoflow, and it does three things. So firstly, it apparently improves the airflow through the bike, so effectively makes it more aerodynamic. Secondly, it helps the comfort of the rider because you can see that there's this cantilevered section here so that the seat post is able to flex. And it replaces a similar system that helps to improve rider comfort called Iso Speed, and this is a much lighter version. So it helps the whole frame, fork and cockpit shed 300 grams. The other bulk of the weight saving comes from that front end, from the new cockpit, which is also apparently more aerodynamic as well. And interestingly, it also aims to put the rider in a more aerodynamic position too, because the top of the brake hoods, where you hold on for your most aerodynamic position, are closer together. But then, so you still get a nice controlled position on the drops, they then flare out so that you've got a little bit more stability, either for descending or in sketchy situations. The team use SRAM group sets, the SRAM Red top-of-the-range 12-speed wireless one. I've got to draw your attention to these outrageous custom chainrings that they've produced for Pedersen. They are enormous, 56-43 teeth. So for the geeks out there, you'll know that is absolutely enormous and frankly bigger than any I've ever seen before. The idea behind big chainrings is that they allow for faster top speeds, but also there's a mechanical efficiency to be gained from running larger chainrings, which I guess is the reason Pedersen has gone for it, unless we see him sprinting 5 kilometers an hour faster than everyone else. Trek-Segafredo have the full complement of Bontrager Aeolus wheels at their disposal, so lots of different depths for different wind conditions and different stage profiles. Interestingly, the team riders get to choose from 3 different types of tyre. So here on Pedersen's bike currently, he's got tubular tyres, so the traditional ones. The team also have tubeless tyres where there's no inner tube but sealant instead. But then apparently for race days, Pedersen chooses clincher tyres with a special Pirelli inner tube that weighs next to nothing and is bright yellow. Last couple of touches for you. Mads is sat on a Bontrager Verse Pro saddle, and he's also using Bontrager handlebar tape. Apparently his choice amongst the team members is unique. He uses a super slimline tape, but what I absolutely love is the way the mechanics have taped it backwards to normal. So there's no electrical tape holding it in place in the middle of the handlebars. It's possibly the neatest wrap job I have ever seen in my life. Kudos to Trek-Segafredo mechanics for that. Now, I mentioned the cockpit earlier on. I got my tape measure out, 36 centimeters wide at the brake hoods, flaring to 40 centimeters wide at the drops. Now, given that Pedersen is on a size 58 bike, that's a super narrow cockpit. And so yes, as we know, mega aero as well. Right, the weight of this bike, according to our trusty park scales, was 8.05 kilos. So a bit of a weight penalty over a super lightweight climbing bike, but given the aerodynamics that this bike is promising, I can't imagine Pedersen is going to be particularly fussed about that. And then finally, I'm going to give you a free hub sound check. That's what I know you come here for. This is a seriously loud free hub, so maybe turn your speakers down. Ooh. Like a swarm of angry bees. Now, incidentally, that back wheel would have kept spinning for an awfully long time. I noticed that the team are running Kogel ceramic bearings. There's a little sticker on the hubs there. So So minimal resistance from their wheels. Right, make sure you give this bike a big thumbs up if you like it. I've got to say, I wasn't totally sure when I saw the first photos leaking out from the Critérium du Dauphiné, but now I can see it, I think that is very cool indeed. But let us know in the comment section down below, and thank you very much to the team for letting us get our grubby paws all over his bike.